I found a job in the ER and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with everything trauma. Anything that having to do with true trauma was just a passion. You either need to do something or shut it.
Yeah. Right.
And skincare really just evolves as we get older. You know, we call it generational skincare. And it should start at your 20s. And I know you're 20, you don't want to think about skincare.
Yeah.
You sleep with your makeup on and you probably go with, you know, to work with the same makeup you fell asleep with the night before. Let's just be honest. If you don't have any money to invest in any kind of skincare, but other than what's at the Walgreens, power to you, just get a good sunscreen. You have to give skincare a solid 30 days to really see the effects and really see that glow.
Yeah.
So by the time we're 40, we're halfway there. Like we're halfway in collagen loss. And collagen is what produces, call it like what I'm going to call the baseline or the structure of everything in our face, really. For me, it was like the tanning bed was my friend.
Yeah, same, honestly.
And the sun in my hair was golden. And all it led to was hair breakage and just bad
Wrinkles,
skin.
yeah.
Bad skin for me, melasma. You enter your 40s and now you need to add what I call the additional products, right? You need probably a growth factor serum, something that really helps you in to what I'm going to say is you need a growth factor serum that really helps you in calming down those wrinkles, right? The reality is what is the saying that two things we can guarantee is we're going to die and we're going to pay taxes, right? But the one thing that we can do is it's like I say, if I have $1 in my pocket, I'm going to go down fighting. I can inject 100 units in the same 11s and it won't do anything for you. Most people start off in the 11s, which is what I call that angry face. Do you want a laundered shirt or do you want a starch shirt? So yes and no. It's preventative when you, for example, there are people who have very strong pulls. Let's just take the area between your eyes because that's typically the first place that people really see that what I'm going to call that crease, right? If you have a heavy scowl, and there are young ladies at the age of 20 who do, it's great to do a preventative because when you're folding the skin, just like any piece of paper, if you fold it over and over, it's going to mark. So mid-30s is kind of where I feel like you start really noticing a difference in your facial feature changes.
Can I tell you that I think that Stanley's will increase the need for fillers? Because we're all drinking from, we're not smoking anymore. We're all drinking from these little straws all day long. I think about it all the time. Every time I drink from there, I'm like, you're going to get smoker's lines.
The bigger the lip, the more what I'm going to call fuller they look. But for someone who has a thin lip and then they have the smoker's lines or what I call
straw lines,
the drinker's lines, they're a lot more noticeable. I would never put that on your cheeks because then I'm literally going to inject rocks in your cheeks. I literally hit bone. I aspirate, make sure I'm nowhere I don't need to be, and then I inject. And we inject dollops. So obviously a filler that's the size of a blueberry, but the consistency of a rock is going to be very different than a filler the size of a blueberry, the consistency of what I'm going to call a mushed banana. Well, and it is. For example, Botox, the reality is I can't take it away.
Yeah.
You know, the taking away is, here's 3 months later and stuff.
That's
time. Time is literally your best friend.
Yeah.
Or tell the patient, you know what? If you've got an electric toothbrush that vibrates, just put it right there and hope that it metabolizes quickly. I honestly do not think that a weekend course at the Radisson Inn conference room is enough education to have you inject a toxin, basically, and you just not having a good educational background to understand what to do if something goes south. Peppermint is a big one for bringing people back.
Yeah.
It's also good for anxiety. Nerves cannot send two signals at once. I'm really scared because I've had my lips done before and oh my God, did it hurt so bad. I'm a big chicken because it's the anticipation of what can happen, not something that actually has happened.
Yeah.
And I think that's for most of us. My medical director is here in Alamo Heights, Pedro Calzada, absolutely wonderful physician, family practice. But what I like about him is I can text him anything and he will answer back within minutes and stuff. Being able to have a sounding board, just know that support means a big deal. You would be surprised how many emails I get weekly on buy this product from China, buy this product from Florida, buy this product. There is a standard rule. If it does not come from the manufacturer, you do not buy it. You don't know where it came from. You don't know if it's counterfeit or not. And counterfeit product is like, I'm talking like doors and several rooms. I'm not talking about someone in a salon suite that was no license, no medical director, with product, counterfeit product. You can't throw a rock right now without hitting a med spa. Things you don't do on the cheap: your teeth, plastic surgery, eyes, and anything having to do with your private parts.
I want to do this, but I don't want it to cost an arm and a leg. And it's like, I feel like that should cost you an arm and a leg. Yeah. There are some things that you just pay for. I would be willing to get.
Solymar Med Spa is officially opening up its own retail location.
Yes.
281 1604, easy access in the Northwood Shopping Center. I am literally adjacent to Marysol, Ulta, HomeSense, Nordstrom Rack. I know where I'm going to be when I don't have clients. The one thing that I have to say I'm truly excited about is when I thought about this location and opening at this location, I really thought about, going big, right? Getting bigger. And then I realized I like the smallness of my business. And for me, it's really about supporting each other and helping us grow in our independent businesses, but as one. When I was thinking about this, the more and more I thought about helping someone to, as cheesy as it sounds, live the dream.
Yeah.
The more I got excited about it. And I'm truly excited that they're joining us. And like I said, I just really want to make it a space where someone comes in and one, they have you
have not been to a spa happy hour if you have not been to a Solymar happy hour. So